The strange case of the dancing plague. Have you ever felt like dancing for no reason? Maybe you heard a catchy song on the radio, or you were in a good mood, or you just wanted to have some fun. But what if you couldn't stop dancing, even if you wanted to? What if you danced for days or weeks until you collapsed from exhaustion or died from a heart attack? Sounds crazy, right? Well, that's exactly what happened to hundreds of people in medieval Europe, who were struck by a mysterious and deadly phenomenon known as the dancing plague. In this video, we're going to explore the history, the causes, and the effects of this bizarre and fascinating event. So put on your dancing shoes and get ready for a wild ride. The dancing plague, also known as choreomania or St. John's dance, was a type of mass hysteria that affected several regions in Europe between the 14th and 17th centuries. The most famous outbreak occurred in Strasbourg, France, in July 1518, when a woman named Frau Troffea began dancing in the street. She kept on dancing night and day, and within 4 days she was joined by 33 others. Within a month, there were 400 dancers, mostly women, who couldn't stop moving their feet. Some of them collapsed from exhaustion, dehydration, or heart attack. Others suffered from broken bones, bleeding, or infections. It's estimated that as many as 100 people died from the dancing plague in Strasbourg. The authorities were baffled by this phenomenon and tried different ways to deal with it. At first, they thought that the dancers were possessed by the devil or cursed by Saint Vitus, the patron saint of dancers and epileptics. They tried to exorcise them with prayers and holy water, but to no avail. Then they decided that the best way to cure them was to let them dance it out. They hired musicians and built stages for them to perform on, hoping that they would get tired and stop eventually. However, this only made things worse, as it encouraged more people to join the frenzy and provided a rhythm for them to follow. The dancing plague lasted for about 2 months in Strasbourg, until the authorities finally realized their mistake and changed their strategy. They banned music and dancing in the city and sent the dancers away to various shrines and hospitals, where they were treated with rest and herbs. Gradually, the epidemic subsided, and the survivors returned to their normal lives. But what caused this bizarre phenomenon in the first place? There are many theories, but none of them are conclusive. Some historians suggest that it was a result of social and psychological stress caused by famine, disease, poverty, and religious oppression. The people of Strasbourg were living in a time of turmoil and hardship, and dancing was a way for them to express their frustration and despair. Others argue that it was a form of cultural contagion, influenced by popular beliefs and rituals. The people of Strasbourg were familiar with the legends of Saint Vitus and Saint John, who were said to cause or cure dancing mania. They also participated in annual pilgrimages and festivals that involved dancing as a form of worship or entertainment. These factors may have shaped their expectations and behaviors when faced with an unusual situation. Another possible explanation is that it was a case of ergot poisoning, caused by eating bread made from rye infected with a fungus called claviceps purpurea. This fungus produces chemicals that are similar to LSD and can cause hallucinations, convulsions, spasms, and delusions. However, this theory has been challenged by some experts who point out that ergot poisoning does not affect only the legs, but also other parts of the body, that it doesn't last for months, but only for days, and that it doesn't affect only rye eaters, but also other grains consumers. The dancing plague was caused by ergot poisoning, a condition that results from eating bread made from rye infected with a fungus called claviceps purpurea. This fungus produces chemicals that are similar to LSD and can cause hallucinations, convulsions, spasms, and delusions. Ergot poisoning can also affect the blood vessels and cause gangrene, which may explain why some of the dancers had bleeding feet. However, this theory has been criticized by some experts who argue that ergot poisoning does not affect only the legs, but also other parts of the body, that it doesn't last for months, but only for days, and that it doesn't affect only rye eaters, but also other grains consumers. The dancing plague was a form of mass psychogenic disorder, a phenomenon in which a group of people experience similar physical or psychological symptoms that have no apparent organic cause. Mass psychogenic disorder can be triggered by stress, fear, or social pressure, and can spread through suggestion, imitation, or shared beliefs. Some historians suggest that the people of Strasbourg were living in a time of turmoil and hardship, and dancing was a way for them to cope with their frustration and despair. They also suggest that the people were influenced by popular beliefs and rituals that involved dancing as a form of worship or entertainment. For example, they may have been inspired by the legends of Saint Vitus and Saint John, who were said to cause or cure dancing mania. The dancing plague was a result of religious or political dissent. Some sociologists argue that the dancers were members of a heretical sect or a protest movement that used dancing as a form of expression or resistance. They point out that some of the dancers wore red shoes, which could have been a symbol of radicalism or rebellion. They also point out that some of the dancers made obscene gestures, sang profane songs, or mocked the clergy and the nobility. They claim that the dancing plague was a way for the oppressed and marginalized people to challenge the authority and norms of their society. The truth is that we may never know for sure what caused the dancing plague of 1518 or other similar episodes in history. It remains one of the most mysterious and fascinating mysteries of human behavior. What we do know is that it shows us how powerful and unpredictable our minds can be, how easily we can be influenced by our environment and our peers, and how important it is to take care of our physical and mental health. And that's the story of the dancing plague, one of the most mysterious and fascinating mysteries of human behavior. We hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. Also, let us know in the comments what you think about the dancing plague or any other topic you want us to cover next.